I know, like, change is so hard and so scary. I get why people don't like it.
Yeah.
But once you take that step out of the comfort zone and try, like, you gotta try. Like, if you don't try, you never know, and you'll always be sad. So why don't take the risk, you know?
Hi everyone, welcome to Because Mental Health Matters, a podcast by Because Mental Health. In this episode, we're going to talk about quitting as a student athlete and if it's a choice or not. With me today is Andrea, an ex-swimmer, and she quit half a year ago.
Yep.
So we're going to talk a little bit about that because quitting sometimes, for most athletes, is not really a choice, and that's the case for me at least. So it'll be interesting to hear your point of view and why you decided to quit.
Okay, so where should I start? Like, why I quit it?
Yeah.
Okay, so why I quit it was I sort of mentioned it in the last episode. It was just like I had this feeling in interschool, like right before I went to the States. I was just like, I just felt this really calm feeling inside of me that I've accomplished like everything I wanted to, and I was really happy, and that was it. And I just had a feeling, I don't know how to explain it, but that was what it feels like. It's not like I'm saying it like I don't have more to learn, but everything I wanted myself to do, I've done, and I'm pretty happy about it. So that was like internally, maybe my heart made a decision already, so I was going to that direction since then. And I went to the States thinking I want to pursue a career in sports over there, but it turns out that wasn't the case because I was swimming, like training every day, and I was like, what's my purpose of doing this anymore? Like, I don't have a purpose of going to like huge meets because I know that I don't have the ability to. Like, even speed-wise, I don't have the ability to. So I was just like, what am I swimming for? Like, I've swum for me being happy. I've swum for, like, good times. But my motivation to get faster wasn't really there anymore. It was just there to enjoy the sport. And I really enjoyed the sport. And that was it. Like, I don't have any really huge motivation to go for it anymore. Like, I had a big meet in the States, and it just wasn't the same. So it took a lot of courage to talk about it with my parents, and I did. And then it was a conversation, like they were always open about me quitting, and I was just like, okay, then let's quit. But the bad thing was I handled it pretty badly, and I wasn't proud of myself for handling it like that. But I should have talked to my coach first before, like, I was just like, oh, I'm quitting. I just told her I'm quitting, but yeah, so that part was probably what I did wrong.
Right. So it's interesting because, like, your reason for quitting is not, like, because you were super negative about your sport.
I had that phase before, like, in COVID. I was like, I want to quit. And the stupid thing is, I was like, okay, I want to quit and do boxing. My mom was like, you're stupid. I was like, maybe I am, maybe I'm not, because, like, I was really into that sport, and I was like, I mean, it's easier, at least it seems cheaper. We'll see, but, like, yeah, I was like, I'm kind of done with the sport. I'm, like, slow and stuff, but there's a whole lot to sport than being the best, you know?
Yeah.
So that was it. So that was in COVID, and my mom talked me out of it, and I was like, yes, I should keep going for it, and this is just me being stupid. But this time I was like, no, I don't regret this at all. Like, after I quit, I'm, like, happier than ever. It's pretty good. And I get to focus, like, and also the other goal is to, like, focus on studies, because, like, I want to help. Like, my goal is to have a job that helps people. And that's all I ever want. So.
Do you know what you want to do?
Occupational therapy or physiotherapy. Probably occupational therapy. We'll see. Yeah.
Because, like, for me personally, I was never given the option to, especially because when I wanted to quit, it was like 2 years ago when I was like kind of so close yet so far for my college recruitment process. like, I could start the process last year. So 2 years ago, I only had 1 more year to go.
Yeah.
Right? And so, for my parents, they never saw quitting as an option because there's no way as I said in the previous episode, squash is an investment for me. And so there's no point throwing away all the investment.
Yeah.
The last, 10 years just for me to quit.
Yeah.
And so I'm interested in knowing, your parents' perspective on it. I know you said that they took it really well, but, how was the conversation like?
Oh, I was really, I was always really scared of my parents. I am still, kind of scared, but, no, they always told me, in previous competitions since forever, they're like, you can quit whenever you want. Just, okay, then it's even better, you can focus on your studies. That's what they say. And I'm like, okay. But the first time I was like, I want to quit, they're like, no, you gotta keep swimming, because that's not it yet. They're looking out for me, which is a good thing, because I'm really irrational, and I go, I'm really, I do things without thinking.
Impulsive.
Yeah, impulsive. So, it's good that they were there to stop me, because if not, I wouldn't be, mature and smart enough to think
when
things through.
When was that?
I was in COVID.
Oh,
yeah, the COVID times.
Right.
But,
Okay.
after now, half a year ago, I was like, I don't think I should swim anymore. That's what I told them. I was like, I don't want to swim anymore. I was like, it was a really hard thing to put down, because swimming has been a part of my life for 14 years, like I've said. And it's really crazy to put away something that's been a part of me for this long.
I agree, yeah.
And so when she asked me, do you want to quit? She asked me a few times, and I was like, and at first I was like, I think so, yes. But in the end, I was like, you know what? It's the good choice. It's what you should do. And then I put it down. I was like, yes, I have to quit.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So I guess, for your side, the two instances of you trying to quit, one was more irrational while the other one was rational, and you were able to let your parents know exactly what the benefit was of quitting.
Yeah. So, yeah. No, well, they always knew that, they always wanted me to, focus on studies, because my grades are... but my grades are so to them it's okay, and
so they found grades more important.
Yeah, they always do. They're like, swimming is, they know that swimming is not a whole life thing, you can't swim forever. And even if you do, you have to be a really good swimmer, like Siobhan Hahi, or any high level swimmer.
Yeah.
And so I myself, when I was younger, I was like, no, I can do it, but now I'm actually that's true. So I was like, I know it's really near the college recruitment process, but and the thing is, my swimming times weren't getting any faster. So even if I could secure college, it wouldn't be a D1, or a little maybe not a well-known D1 school or something.
Okay.
So I was like, if I don't do my if I can't get into the best ones, then I should just focus on my studies. And now that I'm happy about leaving the sport, then that makes it better, so that's why I quit. Yeah. But quitting was really, really hard.
Was it hard finding validation over it? Because
yes, it was.
You did swim for 14 years after all.
I did. It was really, really scary. I recently I quit. I didn't tell my coach for half a year, but she knew because she checks stuff on we have a web page for swimmers. But I had a dinner with her on Thursday, I think, night, and it was I just felt like I had to do it, because you have to face to face. You have to tell her face to face. It's a whole circle ending. And I talked to her, and I think that was a really good validation for me. She was just
good closure.
Yeah, good closure. And even though she was yes, of course it's a little sad, because you've been swimming for 14 years, and I've been a huge part of the team, the swimming community. So it is sad, but it is a family decision, and if it's what my choice is, then I should go straight on with it and not look back and be regretful of it. That's what she told me.
And the coach respects you for it.
Yeah, and it's good. yeah, it's a thing. And I mean, in the end, my coach is still my coach. She's like half of my mother. You know, she's like my second mother.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it is like, in the end we did you know, what's that thing about closure? We had closure, and well, it's not like I'm seeing the last of her. You know, I'm always gonna go back. But yeah, it's really weird. And it's like, people, when I tell people, like family and friends, that I'm quitting, they're always like, what, you're quitting? I'm like, yeah, it's about time, you know. I've been swimming for 14 years. Like, some of my friends, they started like 10 or 7 or 8, but I started at like 3.
Yeah.
And so I was like, you know what, that's it. You know, I've been swimming for 14 years. 14 years is like okay long.
Yeah, if you start at 10 and you swim for 14 years, that's like 24 years
exactly
old.
So like, I started at 3, so it's been pretty long. So I guess like, I'm not trying to brag for long, because like, I know people have done longer, but maybe I'm just like, no, it's just not me. Yeah It's not like the thing is, like, I quit. It's not like I hate the sport. You know, I really love the sport. Like, I would want to go back as a coach and teach others, because I love analyze. Like, I teach my sister sometimes. Like, she had a swimming gala and she won, because I'm a great coach. I'm like, yeah, she won. She won the relay. But yeah, it's really good. I still love teaching people. You know, I love helping them, teaching them. Like, even my friends, they're like, oh, sometimes their dives aren't right, and I'm like, oh, you should change this and that, or your turn's not good, or what you have to do, and I do help them a lot, so I just, I find joy in that. Actually, it's pretty fun, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's interesting, because I think quitting it has such, like, a negative connotation to it. And, like, people don't really realize that quitting could be, like, the best thing that happened to your life.
Yeah.
And people automatically assume, like, you're mentally weak and that's why you quit. Because,
you know, quitting is a really hard thing. Well, if you don't care about the sport and quit, then that's you being a loser. But if you care, like, I love swimming. I still love swimming, because, like, I grew up with it. I've, like, even though I was really dumb for, like, the first half, but, like, in the end, I still learned, you know? Like, there's a lot of stuff you can learn from swimming. And you can look at different people, different stuffs. And I love the sport. And to quit it, it was really hard, because I was just like, what do I do from now on? Like, every day I'm occupied by training, but now I have all this time, all this freedom. I don't know what to do. So it's all the same thing. Like, when I'm given so much, I don't know what to do with it. Like, I have this class in America that I took, creative writing, and we had so many assignments with so many freedom. I didn't know what to do with it. So it was just really weird. But the farther you go into it, you're like, oh, I can use this for that.
Yeah.
And it's actually pretty enjoyable. So.
How did you manage your time afterwards? Like, what did you do?
Well, I mean, I just filled it in with stuff I usually don't have time to do.
Okay,
like, I know, like, studying more, I guess. I have, like, more free time to do, like, different activities. Like, now I go to work, like, in internship. I spend more time with my friends and family. Definitely, and my dogs. So, my dogs, I love my dogs so much. But yeah, I do, like, I have a lot of time that I didn't have then. Like, I had a lot of time, like, with my family and friends, so which was really good, because, like, back then swimming, I was just like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm late to family gatherings, oh my god, I get it. So I don't have time. So now I do, and it's pretty fun. Like, I've never been more happy. So
that's good. Like, I remember, because, like, one of the biggest downsides of being an athlete is that you're always consumed by studying or training, and so you have no time for any relationship bonding, I guess. So, like, even during the summer, it's really hard for us to hang out. And that's
like,
also
even in
why,
summer, they're always like,
also why,
when are you free? I'm like, I have training in the morning, I have training at night, I'm only free on weekends. And I was like, I'm sorry. You know, it's not like I need to. And even if I have the time, sometimes I just use it for a rest, because I'm just tired and I don't want to go anywhere.
Yeah, and I use a training card. Like, I'm tired.
Or, like, if I don't want to go, I have training, you know? Training, even though I don't have training, so. It is, but it is pretty fun. Like, quitting is a whole different world, like, and,
I guess it's, like, different. It's, like, when you told me you quit, I think I was, like,
shooketh.
Big time. I just didn't really know what to think, because for squash world, whenever I see anyone quit, it's because they're not good enough. Like, they're just never making it into top 3, and so therefore they drop the sport. But your case is interesting because you actually have been doing well.
Yeah, I was really doing fine. Like, I've been reaching my personal bests before I quit. And, yeah, I've been reaching, like, places, but that was... I just felt happy, you know? And you know how, like, if you don't feel sad, you don't never know what happy is. Like, if you have happy for so long, your brain just goes crazy. Like, you just don't know what you're doing. So I was just like, okay, it's time for something new. Maybe I'm gonna, like, learn a new sport or find a new hobby, you know? But honestly, it's a good thing. It's a good choice. It's different. Yeah. Oh, yes. And I also had this, like, huge identity crisis thing, I think. I had a whole thing on it. I think it took me, like, a few months to get over it. Because you've been doing squash for so long. I've been swimming for so long. And two, I physically said I quit, but, like, emotionally, I'm still really attached to the sport. And I've always, like, felt insecure, like, about being normal. Like, I'm not like the others. Because I'm a student athlete, you know? I'm, like, not a normal student. I have the athlete card to play. But when it's gone, I just feel insecure, and then I pull it back. And I'm like, oh, I'm a swimmer, you know? But in reality, I don't do that anymore.
Yeah, it's... Because, like, whenever people ask me who I am, or, like, give me a self-introduction, what I always say is I play
squash, yes!
Especially because squash is such a unique sport that not everyone knows about. So whenever someone wants a fun fact about me, I can actually throw out I play squash. And I play a sport that has the same name as a vegetable, and people laugh about it. But if I don't have squash, there's nothing else that really represents me anymore.
Exactly. Yeah, so... when people say that, I'm just like, I don't know, I don't swim anymore, but I actually found, like, okay, creative writing is a huge part of, like, my whole American, like, experience, and it actually got me into, like, writing, and it's really, really fun. But other than that, I don't really, like, I don't have that identity anymore, and I just feel so weird and insecure. It's like the whole, like, latching onto my past thing I had during my swimming career, because I think I talked about it last time in the first episode. Like, when I was younger, I was really fast. Like, not for real, but I used the raw motivation, and I got really fast. And it was, like, pure anger, pure rage. I got fast when I was 10, and it lasted to 12 years old. I broke, like, a 10-year-old record, won, like, the overall champion. But that part of me, like, when I went on to, like, when I was 13, I had only one good meet, and everything just started going down. And that was, when I was down, I was just like, oh no, that is gone. Yeah. And I was scared, and I was latching onto it again. But, like, it took me so long to, like, get over it, because everybody around me was, like, reminding me of who I was, and not who I am. Yeah. They're like, you were this and that, why aren't you this now? You were this and that, like, you know? But for me, I hated it, because, like, I hated it so much, because I wasn't who I was, and I can never go back, because, you know, like, my motivation is like an engine, and I put the wrong fuel in it, and then I used it a lot, and then it's broken. Yeah. Now I have to go, like, find another one, and do the right thing, but I'm still stuck on the old machine, and it was a really hard time for me, and I kept trying to, like, restart the engine. Yeah. I tried to use, like, anger. I pissed myself off. I made myself angry, and it was a lot of self-abusive things going on. But as much as I tried, I was really burnt out, and it got me nowhere. And that was the time, like, during COVID, so it was really bad. Like, I can't do anything about it. And so, like, I was just down. Like, I didn't know what to do. And so I feel like that is also a lesson learned. So I learned from that. Like, I learned that I have to move on from the past, and I have to, like, I keep telling people to, like, not dwell in the past because it's over, but I do it a lot myself. And so...
easier said than done.
It is. It's really easier said than done. Like, oh, okay, so y'all know the movie, like, Lion King? Everybody knows, right? There's this quote from Rafiki the monkey.
You ask me, you know
I mean, some people hasn't watched it, but, like, my grammar. Anyways, so Rafiki is the baboon, right? The baboon, the crazy baboon. Yeah. And it is my, like, Lion King is my favorite Disney movie because, like, every time I watch it, I cry. It's a lot about the past and how you, like, you have to leave it behind, learn from it, and move on to the future to, like, make something that you're proud of. And the quote I want to remind myself is, that's what Rafiki told Simba when he was escaping from himself, his past. And what he said was, what the past can hurt, but the way I see it is you can either run from it or learn from it.
Oh, I think you posted it on Instagram
a long time ago.
Yeah.
I was like, it's a really good reminder because, like, even, like, the simplest children movie is, like, so spiritual and, like, inspirational.
That's what Disney is good at.
Exactly. No, the old classics.
Yeah, the old classics.
But, like,
that's what I meant.
it's really good. And, like, yesterday, like, a few days ago, I went to Disney. I was crying watching it because it was just, it reminded me of a lot. So it is a really good quote to hold on to. And I need to live by that because as much as I say it, I don't do it. And so after that, I think I watched The Lion King, like, so many times during COVID. And I was like, okay, I gotta get out the dumps. I gotta, like, restart. Because I'm done running from it, and, you know, I have to accept the fact that I can't be as fast as I was, so I gotta make a new me, like, do things differently. I know, like, change is so hard and so scary. I get why people don't like it, but once you take that step out of the comfort zone and try, like, you gotta try. Like, if you don't try, you never know, and you'll always be sad. So I don't take the risk, you know. And so I took the risk. I was like, okay, try a different way. Calm down, think clearly. Like, okay, focus on technique today, focus on this tomorrow, that tomorrow. And slowly I got better. So that's how I got here. And now I have to do it again. Because, like, I can't keep latching on to who I was. Yeah, swimming. I can't latch on to swimming. Like, swimming is not forever. That's what people say. And that's the truth. Yeah. So now that I got, like, a lot better. But in the beginning, my friend told me that, like, it was really annoying that I keep going back to, like, my swimmer self, and she was the one that got me to stop this and try to move on. So I guess it's something that that is really important, and people should take note of, is that. Yeah, so it was a really big part and really hard part for me. I was, like, crying every night and, like, oh my god, what am I? Like, it's like, even a normal person, you have, like, many different identities. Like, you're a daughter, you're a student athlete, you're a friend, you're a sister. Like, I'm a, like, you know, same thing. So, like, who you are is still, like, why am I talking about, like, spiritual stuff? But anyways, like, who you are is still, like, a huge part of your life.
Like, but, like, in reality, what I see is 60% a squash player and 40% an athlete. I mean, a student.
Yeah, exactly.
So you don't really see the other side of things, and you don't remember where you truly came from or who you really are.
Yeah.
And I think when you feel like you want to quit a sport, you have to remember that you're just taking out a small percentage of you and not a large one.
It takes you a lot to realize that, like, when you're out of that, like, routine.
Yeah.
Because, like, sports is a routine, right? Like, every day, okay, Monday training, Tuesday training, what time, so it's a routine. And so when you're out of that, you're like, oh my god, I've been a robot all my life, you know? Because, like, it's really weird. Like, we are weirdly robots. I can't talk. But, like, you literally do the same thing every day. It's like we're programmed to do that. But it is kind of crazy, like, how you see things right after you quit. I was just like, whoa, the world's, like,
bigger,
huge, and I can do a lot of stuff. Yes, I was like,
yeah, I understand.
Yeah, it was a really hard, like, it was so hard to pull away from something. It actually kind of drives me insane.
I mean, it was 14 years of your life, so it still has to be.
That's all I've known for years.
Yeah, and so it still has to be a part of your identity, because when you're 28 years old, you realize
I was a swimmer.
You were a swimmer for half your life, which is crazy.
Exactly. Like, I mean, the swimmer is always a part of me, but the competitive side is always, it's gone. Like, I always have, like, a part of a swimmer in me, but like the competing days are over. Like I have to get used to that. It's really nice to not compete anymore because the stress, the anxiety, it's so bad. But yeah, it's super weird that it's gone now. Like usually now I would be like, oh my god, I have to like rush to training. I can't be late. Yeah. But now it's just like, oh my god, I have time. I can chill out. So it's a good thing that I decided to quit. It wasn't that weird of a choice.
That's good. So as a former student athlete, what advice would you give to people who are thinking about quitting or want to quit and don't know how to reach out?
First of all, you have to like really dig into yourself to know if you want to quit or not. It's just like the COVID thing. It was just me giving up instead of making a choice to quit. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just give up. Okay, the thing is you have to know the difference between wanting to give up and wanting to quit. Like, it's two different things. Giving up is like, oh, I'm done with it and I can't, like, I need to fight to get back to it. That's called like giving up and not giving up. Like quitting is like, it's like a closure. Like for me, the only accepted quitting method is to like have closure instead of giving up quitting. You know what I mean? So I just feel like you really have to like go dig deep into yourself for answers. Just calm down before you make any irrational decision. Just be like, okay, what did I do in this career that can lead to me quitting? If there's like none, then don't quit. Then keep going. Like there's always a source of motivation for you. Okay, don't use anger, guys. Remember, it's gonna burn you out. But just find that little motivation every day, just to get better. Like, just maybe for me, it was focusing on one little thing every single day. So it was like, okay, today turns, tomorrow pushing off walls, and then the day after tomorrow is underwater kicks, and then the other day is like head movement or whatever. So if you giving up is really easy, but you just have to keep going on. That's the way life works. Like, you can't just give in, you know. But for quitting, it's like, okay, I've always built out one goal after another, right? One after another. So, but in the end, my goal was to just try my best and be happy. And then I reached it, and I've tried it for like a few months already. And so I don't have a further purpose anymore because I know I don't have the ability to go like any further or like any faster to like a high level.
But what do you mean by that? Because like, as long as you find new ways, you can always improve, right? Or is there like, to you there's a limit?
For swimming, you know, like for when I was younger, it was like a really sudden burst. I got like 5 or 6 seconds faster, which is crazy. And you don't get that boost anymore. It's only little by little. So my times right now aren't that good, and so little by little, it's gonna be the same time. So I won't get any better. You know what I mean? Like, I can only get a little better by like 1 or 2 seconds, but that's not gonna get me anywhere. That's my meaning of it's not gonna get me further into like higher levels. So I was just. So my mind was like, okay, you're happy right now, right? You tried everything, you've learned a lot, then I guess it's time for a closure. You know, you have to have that like little feeling inside of you that you've reached all your goals, you've seen everything you wanted to see, and then have the courage to let go. Talk to people. If you don't know, then talk to people. They might tell you to not quit, but if in the end you really, really want to quit, just quit. You don't have to care about what others say because it's your choice. Yeah. So you just have to and stick with your choice and don't regret it, because if you regret it, going back is going to be really hard, because you know it's like a building up thing. I think for squash too, for swimming, if you miss a day, it's like an equivalent of 2 days. So like make sure you're making the right choice. If you're not, then I can't help you with the regret. But
I think another thing is also to make sure you know what you want to do next.
Yeah, you always have a plan. Like,
a plan.
If you don't, then that's bad. You should keep swimming. I mean, doing your sport. But if you have, like, somewhere else you know you can go to, like, academics or, like, pursuing a good career in the future, then, like, you should, like, go and do it. Like, I will be proud of you. And you should do it. Go grab your dreams or whatever you call that. But it is a really hard choice to make, and yeah, it takes a lot of courage. And don't be afraid to talk to your parents or your coach, because I mean, your parents are your parents. Like, in the end, in the end, they just want you to be happy.
Yeah.
Like, they're your parents. You're their kid, you know?
Yeah.
So, talk to them. And coaches, they might be a little annoyed, but just shrug it off because they're a coach. And, they'll understand someday, you know?
Another thing is, like, make sure you have proper closure before you leave.
Yeah, like me, face your problems and don't run away.
Yeah.
Because that's
I think
bad.
for coaches, you also have to, like, meet them face to face and actually
you have
tell
to
them
be
about
open-minded.
it.
Please don't do it over text because it's super disrespectful. Unless if you're in another country. But like me, I would just fly back and talk to them because, you know, again, mutual respect is a huge thing in sports, and it should be what we do, you know. Yeah.
Do you have anything else to add?
I don't have anything else to add.
Okay.
Just make good choices, kids.
Yeah. I guess, well, for our podcast listeners, we can always, like, you guys can always message us on Instagram and we can refer you to Andrea if you have anything. Because I know, like, quitting is
it's really hard. I don't mind talking to y'all. Like, I've talked to people who had, like, swimming problems.
And I think that's, like, a really touchy subject as well.
It is.
Some people.
Like, your secret is always safe with me. Don't worry. Like, it's a safe place. You don't have to be scared. I'm not intimidating at all. So
she is a little, but
I'm not.
Okay,
I'm a really nice person. Okay.
Yes.
I guess I sort of.
You are.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay.
Hailey knows.
Thank you so much for listening, guys. And always remember
It's been fun.
Yeah. Remember to listen to our first episode of this series.
So different, so similar.
No, first episode of this series.
Oh, this series. Okay, so it's a different perspective.
Yeah,
okay.
It's called A Different Perspective. And then if you tune back in a long time ago, we have an episode called So Different, So Similar, where we talked about...
I sounded horrible in that one.
No, you sounded fine. Where we talked about how different swimming and squash is, but at the same time how similar it was because we're both student athletes, so we kind of go through the same things.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hope you enjoyed all 3 of these episodes, and
it's been fun, guys.
Yeah.
Good luck in your sport.
We went from you staying in Hong Kong to you going to the US and quitting your sport.
Yay.
You guys got a whole Andrea journey going on.
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you for listening. Bye.
Bye.